So she would like give me some cigarettes or put some gas in my car. I'm living in my car at the time. I finally got a DUI because I was sleeping in my car down in Kensington. I took it to trial. I appealed it. I fought this thing because my whole argument was like I wasn't operating the vehicle. I had the heat on because I was home. Like I was living in it.
It wasn't a vehicle. It was a domicile.
Correct. Yes. That was my argument. And they're like, it's a good argument, but no. They got me for the DUI. So we're shooting speedballs in my car, listening to NPR, driving all over the place to find new places to steal Red Bull from. And I would put the NPR on when I didn't want to deal with them anymore because they hated it. And they would be like, look, just drop us off. Come pick us up tomorrow. We're going to go find some other hustle or like we'll do something else.
How did you wind up with them in your car? You don't even know.
I don't remember.
Who are they? And so, Dave Marquess, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Dave brought his game, Relapse versus Recovery, and the Relapse versus Recovery, I was going to say cookbook, but coloring book.
Well, it's been rebranded. It's an activity book.
Activity book.
Yes.
And Dave, you're from Philly.
Yes.
And welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And how long have you been sober?
My recovery date is 6/9/16, so I'm coming up on 10 years.
Nice. And where are you from in Philly?
Port Richmond, Frankfurt, Wissinoming, Kensington. It's like they're all kind of connected to each other, a bunch of little neighborhoods.
How did you stumble onto Dopey? You told me you wrote me years ago. Tell me the story.
So when I was making the game, like right when I was like thought I had it like done, I was like just sending out emails to podcasts and people where I could try to promote it. And thankfully you didn't get it because I was nowhere near ready, even though I thought I was. But yeah, I sent you an email maybe a year and a half ago at best.
You just knew about the show because it was a recovery podcast?
Yeah, I was following a bunch of recovery podcasts. It was like yours, and I think it was Chasing Heroin. Or
Sure, Janine.
Yeah. I just started just like cold calling and got nowhere. But it was...
You never heard back from Janine either?
I sent probably a dozen, and I was sending copies to like whatever address I could find for like contacts for these places, like P.O. boxes, just sending free copies of the game out. I never heard back from anybody.
I can't. You did a terrible job.
Oh, yeah. I am not good at, like, again, I know how to make a game. I don't know how to market shit. I couldn't sell water to a house on fire.
I think you could. And Janine, how dare you not respond to Dave? You should be ashamed of yourself. But I bet you she'll have you on the show now if you want to go on her show.
It would be great.
Me and Janine are good friends, and I bet you she would love to have you on.
Yeah, but after I got Alexa on board to manage everything, she's
tenacious.
Yeah, she's great.
Shout out to Alexa. She is tenacious.
Yes, not the robot.
Not Apple's robot that stalks us and follows everything that we do. So when is the first time you got high, Dave?
I mean, on drugs or just from outside influence? Because the first time I remember being in, I want to say I was in kindergarten. I went to this school called Nativity. And I remember they put me in a different classroom for my reading because I was really good at it. So I was in like second grade reading in kindergarten. It was a Catholic school, so they put me in a different room. And I started stealing from that classroom. So it was just like, I need more.
What were you stealing?
Pencils with like football teams on it, erasers, just stuff. Just like, I need more. Just something that like from outside that'll make me feel better.
Were you like a thieving person most of your life?
Yes.
And did you get high from stealing?
Yeah, it was that rush of just like, yeah, I got this, I got away with it, and now it's mine.
It's also like, I want this.
Yeah.
I'm entitled to this.
Yeah.
I have the ability to take it.
Mm-hmm.
I loved stealing too.
Yeah.
Stealing is a real... I didn't like stealing when I was that little. I remember I stole something around that, maybe like, I don't know, 4th grade or something.
I was raised in that atmosphere, like when I was real little. So I lived with my mom until I was about 3.5, and she went to prison for check fraud. So she was always out there hustling and stealing and ripping off. And
What was she doing specifically?
she was doing a lot of check fraud to
Like how? How did it work?
So I was real young, so I don't know all the intricacies, but it was basically just, stealing checkbooks from friends, family, anywhere she could slink her fingers into and, write bad checks and go to the grocery stores or appliance stores and writing checks for appliances and then returning them or selling them at a pawn shop and just, and this was the 80s, so there was no high-tech computer system. It took a week for them to realize the check was bad.
Was she a drug addict?
Yeah.
What was she using?
Back then, coke and heroin.
And your dad?
I wasn't living with my dad at the time. My brother was, and my dad was a chemist. He made PCP, meth, and LSD.
No way.
Yeah.
And your parents were separated?
Yeah.
And you have brothers and sisters?
I have two brothers. My older brother, Jason, who I have a really close, great relationship with in Florida. And then I have another brother, Jesse, who I have no idea. I haven't talked to him since 2007 at my dad's funeral. And before that, I had no relationship with him.
And they're both whole brothers?
No, my oldest, Jesse, has a different mother. That's a whole crazy story. She had kidnapped my brother, joined the Moonies, stole all my dad's...
Tell the whole story.
I don't know the whole story.
Tell us everything you know.
What I know is my dad had a company called Central Sun Corporation. He was a chemist, and he would make horse dewormer for the mounted police in Philadelphia. So he had a contract with the city, and he had a leather shop down in Center City. And so he had, he was well off financially. He had a son, Jesse, with his then wife, Linda. And Linda cleared out the bank accounts, joined the Moonies, kidnapped her son, and took off to California or wherever they went. And then in my dad's pursuit to find his son, he's cooking drugs, doing whatever he can to fund his operation, traveling around looking for his kid. And then along that path meets my mom, and she's going to help him do this, look for his kid.
Jesse,
yes. And along the way, they had my brother. And then at some point, they went back to Philly, and they were just like, I don't know if they gave up on the venture. Like, my brother knows more of that story. I was very young, like, when they stopped talking about it. They landed in Philly and Port Richmond, had me. My parents' relationship was, domestic violence, drug addiction. It was a whole mess. So one day, my mom took off with me and left my brother Jason with my dad. So they just had this agreement. It's like, all right, my dad has Jason, my mom has me, no custody, no child support. Like, we split the kids. So it was weird because I grew up basically as an only child until I was about 4. And then my mom went to prison. My grandmother went to rehab, and then my aunt was on a coke binge, so nobody could take care of me. So they made a deal with the school to where my kindergarten teacher would watch me, or preschool teacher would watch me until my grandmother got out of rehab. And my dad found out and then came and got me.
what was your grandma in rehab for?
Alcohol.
So then your dad is like, fuck that. Your dad's actually wanted to take care of you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, my dad loved me. Yeah, 100%. It was just like that was their agreement. And from what I understand, like I did have like phone conversations with my dad, and, my brother Jason had calls with my mom. I just don't remember like any visitation or anything. Because I remember when my dad came to pick me up from my preschool, it was just like a very awkward, like I'm being kidnapped scenario. It was like, I don't know these people and they're sending me with them.
But you did, was that the first time you met your father?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And so, but your whole family's drug addicts.
My mom's side, yes. My dad's side, no.
But your dad.
My dad, drug addict, alcoholic. So after my dad got custody of me also, and he had me and my brother, he stopped cooking. He stopped making drugs.
What was he? He was making acid.
He was making LSD, meth, and PCP. He made a lot of PCP back in like the 70s into the 80s, and a lot of meth. He made a lot of meth for biker gangs, and,
He was like
he was a cook.
He was an old-time Walter White kind of character.
Not on that scale, but yeah.
He was nerdy, or was he like a hippie, or what was he like?
Both.
He was a nerdy,
he
hippie,
was a
outlaw,
nerdy,
Philly guy?
nerdy, autistic hippie. Like he could show you how to cook it up, but he had a hard time tying his shoes.
That's crazy. And what was his favorite thing to cook? Do you have any idea?
No, I don't. I know he used to make purple microdots. Like we had, it was like a little picture frame, like one of those shadow boxes with the glass, and then inside of it, he had some of his pills that he had made framed that hung up in our house when we were kids.
What do you remember seeing?
Just the purple microdot is the only one. It's
What
like,
did it look like?
like a little purple pill.
And how did he make good stuff?
From what I hear, so when he got me, he had like turned this leaf where it's like no more drugs. I got 2 kids. He started going to some technical school because he grew up as an auto mechanic. He used to swap out Porsche engines and put them in Volkswagen Beetles. So he was very good with timing. Like he understood like how to tune an engine, like just stuff that's beyond me. Like he was really good with the chemistry and numbers, and he was a genius.
Why did he do that with Porsche engines?
Because they fit perfectly inside of a Volkswagen Beetle, and then you can race them. So he used to do drag races, illegal drag races down in Philly.
With Beetles?
Yeah.
Why not with just the Porsche themselves?
Well, because the Beetle doesn't look like shit.
Right. That's cool. And why did he stop cooking when he took you in?
Because now he just had this newfound responsibility of like, I'm a single dad with 2 kids. Like, I got to change this up. And from my understanding, I was living with him for maybe a couple months. And I guess there was some problems in the neighborhood since he stopped making the drugs. There was a bar around the corner where I guess he facilitated a lot of dealers. They came to our house and kicked the door open and were beating my dad with baseball bats. So we put 2 of them in the hospital with a big buck knife.
Wow.
So like one of my earliest like real memories was seeing these bloody footprints from our house that ran around the corner to the bar. The whole block was taped off with caution, police do not cross. And yeah, he went to jail. He got exonerated because they broke into our house. And I remember we lived with my grandmother for a little while, his mom.
Wow. So what do you remember?
Of what?
Of like being a kid in that house, and how did your dad transition from not cooking?
So he stopped cooking, stopped doing drugs, and just went like full tilt alcoholic.
He just started drinking.
Yeah. He was a nice, sloppy drunk. Like he was never like mean, but he was very belligerent. We used to go to the Eagles games, and he would be out there screaming like, "You fucking suck!" And then somebody would come up there to him that works there and be like, "You can't use that language." So then my dad would start screaming out, "You sexually vacuum." Like that was the type of drunk
but in
he was.
Philly, who's not fucking screaming, "You fucking suck"?
Yeah, but yeah, he just became like a really bad alcoholic. At that point, it was kind of like me and my brother were just raising ourselves.
Were you guys close?
Yes and no. Like we were paired up, but we did not get along.
Okay.
Like we were always fist fighting. I mean, later in life when I was a teenager, I tried to stab him. They sent me to the psych ward for it. But we're really close now. I talk to him all the time. Like we get along. I go to Florida, visit him. He just let me stay at his house last year for a couple weeks after, while I was going through a divorce. So,
did your mom come back?
Yes, and with a vengeance.
So what happens? You're living with your brother. Your father has transitioned from drug manufacturing, drug user to alcoholic, and you and your brother are raising yourselves, and that's in the Philly suburbs at that point?
No, we're in Philly.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in Philly, living in, up and down Allegheny Avenue. Me and my brother would find hustles, make money. We would,
like what?
The old school newspaper dispensers that you put a coin in and you get
sure.
it. We would learn how to pop them open, take all the newspapers and sell them on the corner.
Yeah.
We would go buy a rack of soft pretzels and stand on the on-ramp and sell them when we were kids. We'd go down to the grocery store with a wagon and take old ladies' groceries home for quarters. So it's just anything we could do to make a couple bucks.
You guys were like old school street urchins.
Yes. Yeah. It was Lord of the Flies in Philly where we're just like, how do we make a way? And we're little. This isn't like he was 8 and I was 5.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You're wearing like the newsboy hats and fucking messenger bags, throwing the paper. No, but you guys you came up on the rough side of it. And your dad was just trying to hold it together.
Yeah. So
When does your mom show up again?
mom's in and out of prison. I don't remember like the exact like age I was when mom showed up, but I know I was maybe like 7, 8 after she gets out of prison, and she kind of gets some visitation back, but she hasn't turned a new leaf or anything. She's still out there hustling, doing all the illegal activity. So we were always in some custody hearing or a child support hearing growing up. I grew up in that system. It sucked.
Did you feel safer with your mother or your father?
My father.
Okay.
Yeah, because as crazy as dad was just
Dependable.
yeah, he was just a drunk. Like I knew, like when I got done school, I knew if I walked down to Donna's bar, dad would be on the stool.
Right.
When I was my mom, it was like we have no idea where she's at. She could be anywhere. So
Yeah, it sounds challenging, and it's not like a story I hear very often doing this show. Like it's like a real kind of working Philly situation, I think. Once it's funny all the different kinds of stories you hear, and you hear a specific kind of story, but I haven't heard this story in a while, I don't think. So when did drugs start showing up?
I want to say like the tail end of middle school, somewhere between 6th and 8th grade. Start smoking pot.
Was your family worse off than most of the other kids? Were they like giving you shit, or were most of the kids all fucked up?
We were all in the same fucked up boat.
Right.
I mean, but that's who we attract, right? I've thought about this before. I think there's like one girl we grew up with that had both her parents in the house. Everybody else was a latchkey kid, divorced parents, spent their weekends somewhere else, like at mom's or dad's.
Parents are on drugs.
Yeah.
Parents are criminals doing crazy shit.
Yeah.
And it's also like close to Kensington.
Yeah.
So it's like I was there in November and I'd never been there before.
Oh, it's crazier now than it's ever been. Growing up there, it wasn't that bad. Like it was a fist fight neighborhood. Like if you went down there, you might have to punch somebody or you might have to duck one, but it was nothing like it is today. It's unrecognizable.
So when you're a kid, what was it like exactly? It's like fighting a lot?
Yeah, we were just feral children where, there was like the rules were like be home for dinner. When grandmom's cooking dinner, be home for dinner. And this is like 6, 7, 8 years old, where it's like after school, come home, do some homework, get out of your school clothes, get your clothes on, and then we'd be out the door. There was no supervision.
Yeah. And would you go to was your dad's mom in the area too?
Yeah, right in Port Richmond. So
she was more stable than your mom's mom.
They were about the same. Like because my grandmother did go to rehab, and that was back in I think 89, 88. No, maybe it was. I think it might have been 87. And she's been clean and sober since. She's still alive.
You're the first person who's mentioned their grandma in rehab on the show. I'll say that in 10 years. You're the first person whose mother, father, and grandmother were drug addict alcoholics, which I appreciate.
Oh, and my mother's side, I had my Uncle Andy was a big drug addict. My Uncle Dave is still out there drinking and doing whatever. My Aunt Patty, she eventually died from it. My mom died from it. Like, adjacent. So they both wound up with, terminal illnesses from just poisoning their bodies for so long.
And when do you start using? Like, when do you start being into it?
I'd say probably like summer in 97 was really bad. Like that's when like I'm
How old were you?
7th grade, maybe 12. That's when, smoking weed regularly, getting into PCP. I was never big into alcohol. Like I never liked the taste of it, and it was always a headache to get because you got to like.
You're too little to be getting. You can't buy it.
Well, we would pay. So buying alcohol is not that complicated. It was just a matter of like paying the homeless guy and buying him some too. But then it's like we got to find the guy, we got to trust him, hope he's not going to burn us for our money, and then where I know like I can just walk down to the projects and buy weed. Nobody's carding me. Nobody gives a shit if I'm 12 years old. They just want my $5 or $10.
What about the PCP?
Same thing. It was just it was a different high, and for whatever reason, I loved the taste of it because it tasted like spray paint. It just had that. I don't know. And
when did you fall in love with spray paint?
Oh, probably around the same time, 97, 98. There's a couple older kids that showed me we could spray paint or made up names on stuff, and I fell in love with it. It's like, oh, I can do this too, and I'm better than most of the people that I'm doing it with because I was just drawing my whole life. So
you fell in love with art first, and the streets.
Yeah.
And then you find weed and PCP, and then you find tagging and bombing and spray painting.
Yes.
Amazing. And did your dad ever see you smoking PCP and like taste it and was like, this is an inferior product?
No. I do know he has caught me high on PCP a couple times and lost his shit. But
when was the first time you smoked PCP?
Probably 7th grade.
I never smoked. That was one drug I never got to do.
Yeah, we used to call it a love boat. We would get a little bit of weed and then put PCP on it, roll it up in a blunt, and yeah. And my favorite time, I would smoke it when it was raining out, and I don't know why. It just added to the ambiance of it.
The romance.
Yeah.
A rainy PCP love boat day. And describe the PCP effect.
It turned everything into slow motion. It took any concerns and cares away better than weed ever could. Weed was kind of like a distraction, but it was like I'd smoke weed and it'd be like, all right, cool, I'm going to skateboard and draw on my sketchbook. But I smoked PCP, like I didn't have to worry about shit. It was just I was living in a cartoon.
Right. And that suited you as an artist too.
Yeah.
What do you know about PCP?
That it tastes like spray paint.
Like what is going on in there that everything slows down?
I don't know.
It's funny because you're younger than me, but the movie Trading Places?
Yes.
With Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd.
Which takes place in Philly, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's in Philly, and they set up Dan Aykroyd for selling PCP.
Mm-hmm.
And the cops are like, don't you know what this does to kids? And you were kids in Philly smoking PCP. There's got to be some PCP Philly connection. But some kids did do a bunch of PCP. I just had a woman on the show who was from upstate New York, Rochester, and she loved PCP. But it's rare to find a good kid that's on PCP. And so, like, what did you write when you were in the street?
Oh, when I was a kid, I wrote a couple different things, like Seev, S-E-E-V, Siva, S-I-V-A.
Why?
So like I found this like Hindu god of destruction.
Shiva.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna write that, and I just did it for a little while, and then I wound up in a juvenile detention center.
For what?
So 8th grade, I was getting jumped in school, and it was like it had nothing to do with me. It was just because of the kids I hung out with. Like they couldn't get to my friends, so they got to me, and the school wouldn't do anything about it. My dad would go down there, and then, my dad told me, fuck one of them up. They'll leave you alone. So I stabbed one of them.
With the buck knife?
No, I had a utility box cutter that I started carrying with me. And yeah, I cut one of them up in the stomach.
How bad was it?
It wasn't that bad, but it was still, not that far removed from Columbine. So they were implementing the zero tolerance violence weapons in school in that era, so they were going to make an example out of me. And luckily, my dad's side kept me out of trouble, from what I understand, with the courts. Like, not out of trouble, but kept it minimal, kept it out of the papers, kept it, that it wasn't publicized. So I cut the kid. I got in some trouble. They put me on house arrest. I was on probation. I got court ordered to meetings. So I'm 13 years old, chairing meetings. So,
what are you thinking about that? Is it AA or NA?
AA.
And what did you think about it when you were a kid in fucking AA?
It was like maybe a year or two before that is when my dad got sober and started going to meetings. So like I was familiar with meetings. Like I grew up with, 12-step program and all his buddies and his sponsors and sponsees and like that.
He was into it?
Yeah.
Why did he do it?
What, AA? Oh, because I don't know what his bottom was. I didn't get a chance to ask him, but he did. Something happened to where he turned his life around and got into the program and just stopped.
Is he alive or dead?
No, both my parents are dead.
I'm sorry.
No,
I would love to have known your dad's what happened there, like why he did it.
So they both died clean and sober.
Your mom got sober too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so my dad, I want to say he had 7 or 8 years when he now it might have been more than that. So he might have had 10 years when he passed. He had a heart attack. He was a penny pincher. He called his sponsor rather than calling 911 because he didn't want to pay for an ambulance ride. So that's always stuck in my head to where if I'm getting pain in the chest, I'm calling 911. I don't care what it costs.
Don't call your sponsor for that.
No. So, yeah, my father died of a heart attack when he was 62. And then
too young.
14 years later, my mother died of liver cancer at 62.
Wow.
Yeah. So both my parents died at the same age, just 14 years apart. Excuse me. So I get court ordered to the meetings. I couldn't pass a drug test. I just kept smoking pot. And I stopped smoking PCP because I was getting into a lot of trouble where it was just,
Did you get in more trouble for the PCP?
Yeah.
How?
Just because I would pop up on these tests and they would, it was a different reaction for PCP than it was for the pot. I don't know. I mean, I understand why, but it was just, with probation and the judge and my dad.
Well, people are scared of PCP.
Yeah.
And weed is more like that's what kids do.
My dad wasn't, my dad understood the chemical reaction for PCP.
Sure.
But I remember one time my probation officer was bitching at my dad because I was smoking pot and skateboarding and that's all I would want to do. And my dad was just like, listen, if all he wants to do is smoke pot and skateboard, we should leave him the fuck alone.
Right.
like he could be doing much worse. So, but I couldn't pass a drug test. Then 9th grade, I started high school with a house arrest bracelet on. Like that's how my orientation for my freshman
Was
year.
that from the stabbing or from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that summer, from middle school to high school, I was on house arrest the whole summer. And it was an experience because my dad was sitting there figuring out how to trick the system. So he would get me out of the house, even though I was on house arrest. He would just manipulate it.
It'd be like his aunt died and he has to go to the funeral.
Oh, no. He figured out how to unhook the machine.
Okay.
Because he figured out that the machine unplugged still has a battery life of X amount of time. And if I put it in a book bag and take it with me, I can get out of his hair for 2 hours and then come back, plug it in, and it says I was next to the machine. Like, this was before they had the GPS.
He was the real Walter White-esque. He figured shit out.
Yeah, yeah. So 9th grade, I go to high school and I got my ankle bracelet on, and it was the first time I had a friend of mine OD and die from heroin. Like, this is real heroin back in the day. So we were all going through it, and I started smoking PCP again. Smoked PCP before school one day, went in. My probation officer had an office in the high school because that's just the type of high school I went to where they have POs in there. And her and the vice principal cornered me, and I got in a fist fight with the vice principal. So, and she was a lady about the same height as me. So after that is when they took me back to court, and they resentenced me and sent me out to a juvenile detention center in Pittsburgh for 18 months.
So who died?
My buddy Jason.
And he was fucking around with heroin.
Yeah, and it was his dad had given it to him, and it was just like, yeah, fucked us up.
Was it on your radar that heroin was out there?
No.
Not at all. But
No, I mean, it was because I knew my mom did it. So like at that point in life, I was in this like that stigma of, well, that I'm better than, like, I'll never do heroin or coke. I'm just gonna smoke pot and PCP and maybe take some pills here and there, like, because now I'm getting into like Xanax a little bit and some. Not even Percocets yet. I didn't get into Percocets until after high school, really.
So you wind up in some kind of juvenile place?
Yeah.
How long were you there for?
18 months.
And does it change the way you look at the world?
I don't.
Did you feel like when you walked in there versus when you walked out, you were like institutionalized kind of thing, or no?
Maybe a little bit, but it was, I don't know how to like really articulate that because I had gone through like Scared Straight program where they take your class to the juvenile detention center and like the cells under the juvenile courthouse. And I remember being down there and I'm like, this really isn't all that bad. Like, this isn't like.
Well, I think you were on like a track. You grew up fucking in a rough situation. Everybody was a drug addict.
Yeah.
You fucking get sent to your dad's. Mm-hmm. You know, all this shit is happening constantly. So to be in, I mean, you stabbed some kid when you're in 7th grade. Going to juvie seems like that's in line with everything else.
And it was also, mom was in and out of prison and jail. It was just like, this is not out of the norm for me.
Well, it was what you did, and it's part of, like, I think that world, like the world you were describing a second ago. You were like, everybody that you grew up with was in and out of this kind of stuff. Your buddy just died from a fucking heroin overdose.
Yeah.
So basically it's kind of like another sort of trade school in a way.
Yeah, that's it. I've never thought of it in that capacity, but yes, it was, because it just prepared me for being in and out of jail as an adult.
And how to not get picked on and how to get by and how to fucking
because I never had any issues in jail. I never got in any fights. I never got in debts, which I learned real quick. But so I got sentenced to the 18 months out in Pittsburgh, and it was broken up into 2 parts. The first 9 months I was on a waiting list in just like the regular juvenile detention portion of it, where I went to school every day. And then the last 9 months I got put in the drug and alcohol treatment program of it, where we would go in, and after school we would have meetings and lectures, and we would have to write essays, and we would go through the big book and the basic text, like textbooks, and we would have to just do all this work. And yeah, I remember I just got really good at that too. Right?
Was sobriety interesting to you at all, or was it just getting by?
No, it was just, how can I yes these people to get me out of here?
Right. Well, that's kind of what we all do.
Yeah, especially as a teenager. There's no real understanding of the ramifications of what I'm doing.
So you basically cruise through juvie.
Yeah.
So nothing really horrible happens.
No.
So that's good.
Yeah.
So you get out and you're how old? 17?
I was 16 when I got out. So I was there from 14 to 16. Yeah.
Do you jump right back into weed?
No, when I came home, my father had pulled some strings for me to get into a very good Catholic high school, because I had really good grades in the detention center. But the deal was I would have to pay the bill myself, or at least most of it. So when I got out, my dad got me set up with a job at a school uniform place, because that would help me pay for my own uniforms and get me a discount. He got me a job as a baseball and softball umpire for Little League. So when I came home, I was 16. I got my driver's license. I'm umpiring. I have a job, and I have good grades.
Wow.
So
like you're fucking have a purpose.
Yeah,
You're paying for your own school as a kid. I never heard of that before.
Yeah. So my dad would supplement. He would help me pay for it, because I couldn't pay for the whole thing. It was like, say it was $4,000 a year.
But his theory was, if Dave is fucking working and he's responsible for part of his existence, it's going to keep him out of trouble.
That, and also the thing is, if you're going to fuck this up, you're going to do it on your own dime.
Right. I'm not fucking paying for you to.
Yeah, he'd already paid for a couple lawyers for me. He was,
right.
Yeah, he was like,
he was getting like, enough is enough.
Yeah.
So you're umpiring games, you're paying for school, you're getting good grades.
Yep.
So when does it all fall apart again?
Oh, boy meets girl.
Who was the girl?
My daughter's mother. I won't say her name, but I met her, and then it was just the ultimate distraction, to where it's, 16-year-old boy is just, I'm now fully sexually active, and this is great, and this is, what do I need all this other shit for? I mean, I need the jobs because she wants to go to the movies, and I got to take her out to eat, but I stopped giving a shit about the rest of it. And then we start doing drugs together.
What was she doing?
Smoking weed, and then I got her into PCP, and then we would take, some Percocets here and there, and,
Is that where you got into pain, opiates?
Yeah.
Because did she introduce you to?
No. I think I introduced her to everything, but she also came from a family where both of her parents died from the AIDS epidemic, from sharing needles, from my understanding. So drugs were a part of her family too.
Yeah. Seriously rough scene. Yeah. So where was the first time you got opiates? Because you hadn't done them up till then.
No, just Percocets, just other friends in the neighborhood was like, oh, we got to try this.
Did you fall in love with it?
No.
All right.
No, it was just like Perc 5s, Endosets, and it was just like, all right, I get a little itchy and I feel good, and but I'm still smoking weed. I didn't have like a habit or anything. And then later on down the road, though, when I came across oxys, is where that switch got flipped. It was like, I'm gonna do this forever.
How old were you when you got oxys?
Maybe 21, 22.
So you graduated high school. Are you still with?
No, I did not graduate.
So what happened with high school?
So I get kicked out of the Catholic school for just excessive demerits. Just I kept building up to like smoking in my uniform, being places I wasn't supposed to be, having graffiti on my backpack, just the dumbest of shit, but it all compiled.
Sure.
And eventually they expelled me. And then I got sent back to the original school, Frankfurt, that I gotten expelled from for fighting the vice principal.
Why did you fight the vice principal?
I was high on PCP and she grabbed me. This is when her and my probation officer cornered me. So they sent me back to that school. I think I lasted maybe 2 months before I got expelled again for fighting. So they sent me to Lincoln High School, and I was there for maybe 3 months, and they expelled me for I had caused so much damage to the building with graffiti that they gave me like an $80,000 fine and just kicked me out.
Did you pay the fine?
No, so I had worked it out in the plea agreement to where I had to paint the whole building on the inside. So I painted every day, and the last day I was done painting, they're like, all right, you're never allowed in the building again.
Oh, my God. And that was that school?
Yeah.
And did you never finished high school?
So from there, they sent me to a disciplinary high school called Shallcross, and I might have been there for 2 weeks before I was just like, I'm going to get a job, Dad. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. So, and he was like, yeah, like you can't just be in a classroom. It doesn't work. So I went and got a job.
Was your drug use like escalating?
No, it was pretty steady at this point. I was staying, I was getting arrested for, fights and graffiti. I was like in my own little mini war with this anti-graffiti cop in Northeast Philly. He was always, tracking me. Him and my dad were on a first name basis. So,
were you more into graffiti, drugs, or the girl?
Oh, all of them.
Equally?
Yeah, it was just, when I wasn't doing one, I was doing the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you get out of school and you're writing graffiti and where do you find oxys?
So me and my daughter's mother, I moved in with her.
She lived with her folks?
She lived with her grandmother.
Mm.
So I moved in with her. Her grandmother got cancer real bad and passed away. So we had inherited this house, and then she gets pregnant, and we have our daughter sell the house, and her family and her split the money up. And then we moved back to Port Richmond, right across the street from that bar I was telling you about, where the bloody footprints from my house went to. Now I have my first apartment right across the street from there. So it was like a little bit of name recognition to move back to the neighborhood. So where it's like...
They're like, it was his bloody footprints.
There is where I get introduced to the oxys, hanging out with some buddies of mine from Kensington, where it's like... I was doing perks in, the tail end of my high school before I got expelled. Like, not quite picking up a habit, but I felt like, a little bit of the shakes, a little bit of cold sweats after I'm done, but nothing where I realized that that's what it was. It's just like, I don't feel good. And then it would be gone in a day and a half.
And no one was like, dude, you're fucking sick.
No. We didn't really piece that together till later. But then we start doing the oxys, and then it's, oxys get a lot more expensive.
So what do you do for dough?
Working at a pizza shop, delivering pizzas. Then I get linked up with another driver. He pulls out this wad of cash, and I'm like, what are you doing on the side? He's like, I drive Escorts. I'm like, well, how do I do that? He's like, just open up the phone book and look up Escorts and just start calling them, tell them you have a car, a phone, and a GPS. So I do that, and I get hired onto this company, and they start telling me, like, yep, here's the address. Here's where you pick the girl up. We'll call you and tell you where to drop her off at.
So what's that like?
Oh, pure insanity. Because it just goes from 0 to 100 real quick.
So, like, what was the first crazy thing that happened then? And what did the daughter's mother think of all that?
She didn't know about a lot of it. She just thought I was working other jobs driving.
You didn't say, oh, I'm driving Escorts.
Not right away, but eventually I had to tell her because I would have to be gone for like 2 days at a time.
So what were some of the craziest experiences with that?
This one chick, she stole a gun from one of the houses I dropped her off at, and she tried to get into the car, and all these guys came running out and surrounded my car. And I called the agency up, and I'm like, what do I do? And they're like, leave her, get out of there. So I did. Like,
so she didn't get back in the car?
No. I was like, I have no parts of you stealing somebody's gun. Like,
what's the day-to-day? Are you like getting close with the women? Like,
not entirely, because they were like revolving. Like the same girl would come and for like 2-3 weeks, and then they would disappear, and then they would give me a new girl to go pick up somewhere else in the city. And, that was it. And then, somewhere along these lines, I go from snorting oxys to snorting dope to shooting dope.
How did that happen?
Well, I was with two of my buddies in Port Richmond, and we couldn't find oxys because this is right when they're starting to change the formula, so you can't snort them, and they're harder
Putting
to
the
get.
decoding on them.
Yeah.
Whatever, time release.
Yeah, then they're coming out when people are like microwaving them for a couple seconds, and like we're trying to figure out how do we keep snorting these, but eventually it's just they're so hard to get, and now the price is going up, and then I find out like because I had a weird understanding, like I thought you had to shoot heroin. But then I seen some friends snorting it. I'm like, oh, I can do that.
I can snort that.
Yeah,
I can snort anything.
Yeah, I snort stuff all the time. Why wouldn't I do that? So then I figured out it's a $40 pill or a $10 bag. It's very simple math.
And there's crazy heroin everywhere in Philly, right?
Oh yeah, and at the time there was still real heroin. It was people weren't just dropping dead from it. It was just it still had that stigma of like, oh, you're just.
It took a lot of time to drop dead from heroin.
Yeah.
You didn't just drop dead right away.
No, and that was a lot of people you find out like, oh, they were putting Xanax on top of it and doing this on top of it. And it was like a mixture where that's what was really killing them. It wasn't just the heroin.
Right.
So now I'm running these escorts around from Atlantic City out to Pittsburgh and every little town in between. They would put these ads up in their little papers and phone books, and they would call me and give me the address, and I would go sit outside while they go in the house. And then they'd come back out, and then I would collect money that they owed me, and then collect money that they owed the escort service, and then we'd run around, and then eventually we'd make it back down to South Philly, and I would drop the money off. And
so you really worked for the service that the girls had to pay into the service.
Yep.
They keep their little bit.
Mhm.
You get your driver cut, and then you need to give the money to the service itself.
Yeah.
You're like the service rep.
Yeah.
Who happens to drive the women around.
Yeah.
Okay. And like,
oh, and at first I thought this was legit because they wanted to see my driver's license. I'm like, this is like a real job.
it was like a real. It was a lot like.
I mean,
a
I
real
didn't fill out any tax forms, but
No. And were you driving high all the time?
Oh yeah.
How soon after you started doing heroin and snorting it did you get the habit?
Oh, quick, because I already had the habit from the oxys. That's where it was. It was just the financial aspect of like heroin's cheaper, and instead of getting this $40 pill, I can get a $10 bag and get off sick. And then on top of that, I can take another $10 bag and be high again.
Did you find yourself using a lot with the girls? Like,
Oh yeah.
How did the heroin interplay with the jobs?
It turned into like before I would even go pick them up, I would go down and buy a bundle because I knew they were going to want some, or I'd buy two if I knew like I'm going to be driving them all weekend, so I'm going to get two bundles.
Make a little money off
Yeah,
them.
exactly. That's
Pinch the bags.
always, yeah.
And did it come in the little wax
Yeah, the little
bags?
wax
like
blue
the
bags.
same ones that are here, but blue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of blue in the beginning, like because if you got like a different color, it was like, all right, this is weird. Or if you certain corners would sell them with different stamps and names on them.
What names and stamps do you remember?
Oh, I remember the very first bag of dope I bought was called Al Pacino, and it had a little picture of Al Pacino on it. And then you would get other ones that have like the UPS logo on them.
Yeah. And then did you actually pinch the bags?
Oh yeah.
So how would you do it? You'd razor blade it open?
They weren't sealed.
They weren't sealed.
No. So you could just like open a little plastic. So it would be like the little like plastic sandwich baggie that they put it in, like a stamp bag.
Oh, they
And
would put
then-
it in like a clear
Yeah,
Ziploc
yeah.
bag.
And
See,
then-
here all the bags were they were wax
Mhm.
sheaths. So they were paper that were like
We
okay.
have it inside the bag. So it's in the heroin would be inside the wax baggie that's folded up, and then they would stick that inside a little sandwich baggie. So I just open the sandwich baggie up, tap a little bit out, and then close it back up, and then that goes in the pile where I already tapped it. And then just do that the whole bundle, and then I would get a whole bag out of that, and then I would charge them. I would upcharge them on top of.
How much were bundles then there?
Maybe 100 for 14 bags.
Yeah, that's a great deal.
Yeah.
I support that price. It's decent pricing. That's good filling pricing. So, and then you're totally dependent, and like what's happening on these adventures with these women?
Oh, we're shooting dope and just like waking up on the side of the road, like waking up at a red light, like just insanity, getting chased out of hotel rooms. Like,
When did you start shooting?
I was probably within like 90 days of starting to snort it. And
Right.
It didn't take long.
And how is your life changing?
Just it's the insanity and the chaos is just every time I open my eyes, it's just on go. It's, you know, where it hadn't always been like that. Where it's like as soon as I wake up, it's like I gotta shoot dope and then figure out what the fucking plan is for the day. Like, what's the hustle? What are we robbing, ripping off, stealing? Who, you know?
Who are you robbing and stealing at that point?
Uh,
Like, what kind of scams did you guys have going?
we had one with.
And who were you with? Is it was just with the girls?
No, I had like.
Was it with Mike?
No.
Pre-Mike.
Yeah, this is way before Mike. Now, my one buddy Gus. I won't say his real name, but we had one scam with Dave and Buster's. So we had known a bunch of people that worked there. So we would get in, and the one guy would put a bunch of credits on one of the ticket machines, and then we would just play that for an hour, win all the tickets, take them back to the winner's circle to cash them in, and then the girl that was weighing the tickets would lean on the machine, and we would get all these tickets, and then we would get. Do you remember the little PSPs when they first came out, the little PlayStation portable?
Yeah.
We had like 4 or 5 of them in my trunk for in case we got dope sick, like where it's like, all right, we'd put them away for a rainy day.
Why would the girl lean on the scale for you?
Because it would weigh the tickets.
Right, but why would she hook you guys up?
Oh, because she was an ex-girlfriend.
Okay, so you'd get the PSPs, put them in the trunk, and if you ever got dope sick, trade them to the dealers.
Oh, we would just go
Or just
take them
sell
to
'em.
the pawn shop. Yeah.
How much could you get for one?
I don't remember the prices.
But
back
it's
then.
decent. Those are
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
And so, what else were you guys up to?
Anything that wasn't bolted down, we would steal. We would go to some like college parties off season in like West Philly. So they would have these rented dorm rooms, and they would sublease them out to people when they would go home for the summer. So we would go in there and we'd break into the basements, and they would have Xboxes and TVs and just
All these college kids.
yeah. And I was like, all right. And there would be times where it was like, all right, find some duffel bags. We didn't have anything. Just find bags, book bags, duffel bags, load stuff up, and we would hop on the train. We wouldn't even drive, and we'd just be on the train with all those bags of shit going down to the pawn shop.
Did you get busted doing any of that stuff?
No.
All right, so basically you're running a little criminal empire, driving around prostitutes, fucking stealing heroin from prostitutes, getting high, stealing at every turn.
Yeah, if it wasn't bolted down, I was taking it, and if it was bolted down, I was trying to convince somebody that I could sell it to them. They just couldn't take it away.
Right, and was it mostly heroin at that point?
It was all heroin. Yeah.
Just heroin?
Yeah.
No benzos, no weed?
No,
just-
that was a waste of money. It was heroin, gasoline, and nicotine. That was all I spent my money on.
And had you had the baby yet?
Yeah.
When did you have the baby?
My daughter was born in 2004. And so this all really kicked off in 2007 after my dad passed away. So after his heart attack, I had gotten an inheritance, and that's when I was like, I'm going to be an oxy dealer. Like, this is great.
Hold up. The first 3 years of your daughter's life, 04, right?
Yeah.
Your dad died in 07.
Yeah.
Was her mom strung out too?
No. So when she got pregnant, that switch went off in her head where she quit smoking cigarettes. She was
Okay.
I don't think she was ever. If she was an addict, she didn't ignite that gene.
And was she getting tired of your bullshit?
Oh yeah, every day, because I would disappear for days at a time. I would be, she'd come home, I'd be nodded out. Yeah.
So what happened?
She left. So the first time she found needles, she bailed because again, like both of her parents died from the AIDS epidemic, and she was just like, I want no parts of this.
She took the baby.
Yeah.
And she left.
Yep.
And you're alone in that apartment.
No, we had moved to a different part of the city, so she had roommates, a couple girls she went to high school with, and I was just, a terror that showed up. And
How fucked up were you at that point?
Again, I'm stealing anything.
What kind of terror for her and your daughter?
Just she would never know where I would be, who would show up. I was still driving part-time for pizza places with my daughter in the back seat where, I'm fucked up at work, and it's just that's the environment that I created. And then eventually when she did find the needles, she just bailed.
Was the escort thing done then?
No, I was still doing that, but it was like everything kind of toppled in on itself all at once. Like my car, I wasn't maintaining my car. I was driving on the e-brake. I remember that. I had this Saturn Ion, and I had just wore the brake pedals down, so where I'm driving on the e-brake everywhere throughout the city.
Just so you could stop.
Yeah. Yeah, when I would come to any red light, I'm driving on the e-brake. I didn't touch the brake pedal.
So then your dad gets sick
No, my dad just died.
out of nowhere.
Yeah,
And-
he just had a heart attack.
And how did he have an inheritance at all? He had saved a bunch of money because
So
he was sober.
My dad.
Here, get to the mic. Yeah, perfect.
My dad, for a couple years, my dad had worked for the Free Library in Philadelphia, and he worked for the welfare office, and he would find himself in these situations where he would file lawsuits against the city, and he would take them to court and win for racial discrimination.
How does that work?
He was notorious for carrying a tape recorder on him and recording every moment of his life. And he would get his supervisors and people above him calling him racial slurs.
Like what? What did they call him?
The one I remember is they had this code word where they would call him a number 5. And if you fill out the application on a welfare thing, the number 5 was Caucasian. And just things like of that nature.
So he went in for weird reverse discrimination in Philly.
Yeah, and he won. He won the case against him in the library. He won the case against him for the welfare office. And
How much money did he get out of it?
Probably over $100,000.
Amazing.
Mhm.
So he dies, and what does he leave you?
He left me like $30,000. He left my brother $30,000, which I manipulated from the bank at that time.
You
So-
stole your brother's inheritance.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so hopefully if I sell enough games, I can pay him back.
Yeah. Eventually, we'll get there.
Yeah, but we had a big falling out, obviously, but we're on really good terms now. But so yeah, I get this inheritance, and that's when it's I'm going to sell oxys, and shit just goes off the rails after that.
There's nothing smarter than a heroin addict who decides they can sell heroin
Yeah.
or oxys
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So what happens?
I just burned through this money.
Because you can't sell anything.
No.
You use all of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm selling it a little bit. I'm kind of breaking even for a couple months, maybe a half a year, and then it's just,
Free fall.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
use everything.
Yeah.
And you run out of everything.
Yep.
And then you have crazy habit.
Mhm.
And what do?
That's when, just to get back into just robbing, cheating, stealing, to maintain. But then my daughter's mother leaves. I wound up going to jail. So I got grabbed. It's like stupid shit I got grabbed one time for receiving stolen property because somebody ripped a gutter off a building and gave it to me. And I was like, all right, it's aluminum. I'm going to go scrap it. And we got really big into scrapping too for a while. We were stealing manhole covers and breaking them. We would throw them off a building so they would shatter. And we would take the weight because they would weigh your car when you pull in. And then you would dump the metal out, and they would weigh your car when you're pulling out, and then pay you for the metal.
And they didn't care what kind of metal.
Well, that's why we would have to break them. Now, if they seen you with the manhole cover, they'd be like, "No, you gotta get the fuck out of here with that."
So how many pieces do you have to break a manhole cover into?
Just like 3, 4.
Do they don't know what it is? Doesn't
No,
it
'cause
say
it's
like
just in-
Department of this Philadelphia
yeah.
City or whatever?
Yeah,
But they don't know it's a manhole cover?
no, because we put it in with a bunch of other stuff.
And that shit is heavy.
Yeah,
So they pay by the pound. And what
Yeah.
is that, like lead? What is that,
that's
iron?
steel.
Steel.
Yeah,
And they want that steel.
they wanted that.
What do they do with it?
They melt it down and do other shit with it.
Build girders out of it.
One of our hustles was when I had the escorts, we would go around, we would look up places that were for rent, apartments and houses, and we would go in, and it would be 3 of us. So it'd be me, my buddy Gus, and a girl. And the girl would go sneak off and unlock a window somewhere. And then later that night, we would come back and just cut all the copper out of it. That was quick, good money. We'd be standing knee deep in water because we couldn't figure out how to turn it off, but we're just cutting pipes out. Fuck it.
Can you think of any horrible drug stories from that era?
I did tell this one, but the time I didn't have to boof my cell phone.
Tell me where did you told us on Kevin Lanning's
Yeah.
podcast? Oh Jesus. Yeah, I need a story you didn't tell him. But
Okay.
tell me that one first, please.
So I'm in this hotel room with the prostitute and her 2 kids, and we have 2.
You had driven her.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
driving her around. This was 2011-ish, 2011, 2012. So I had this little Samsung slide phone. This was like before touchscreen phones got big. And I'm in the bathroom because we didn't have anything planned for the day, and I'm just shooting speedballs. At this point, I get into coke. I hear the cops knocking on the door, and then she lets them in. So I'm like panicking now, like fuck, like, and I'm not one to flush my drugs, so I just start shooting back-to-back speedballs.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like in my head, I'm like, I'm going to jail. I'm not going broke. So I had like $200 cash, cell phone, and a condom. It's like, fuck it. So I put the cell phone and the money in the condom and fucking stick it up my ass. And then I'm hyping myself up to go out. And when I finally get the courage to open the door up, her and the two kids are asleep. The TV's not on. It was just all psychosis in my own head.
Wow.
Like, so it's like being awake for maybe a week.
Did you keep the cell phone in there just in case?
No. No, my favorite is the comments where people think it's an iPhone.
Well, yeah, it's a little one.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's a tiny little fucking phone. But
I wonder what the biggest phone someone could put up their butt.
Listen, with the way the people are doing meth these days, probably a fucking iPad.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what were you going to say?
So with the same girl, she was from Reading, so I would bounce back and forth. And we were out in Reading one time, and this was October 2011. I remember because we got this freak snowstorm for Halloween. And we went up to her mom and her stepdad's place, and we get trapped there. Like, I had like a couple bags of dope because I thought we were just going to be there for like a day or two. And we get snowed in. And here, come to find out, her fucking stepdad and all his friends that were at the house, they all kind of hunkered down for the snowstorm. They're the Klan.
Oh, my God.
So now I'm at this house on the side of a fucking mountain.
How do you find out that they're the Klan?
Because they have the robes and the fucking shit is up on the wall. Like,
what's on the wall?
just like iron crosses and just Klan ideology is just on display. It's proudly on display.
What kind of Klan ideology?
Just pictures of guys in their robes. He showed me his fucking membership card.
Wait, so you're snowed in at a Klan lodge? Like, how does this happen?
I'm at her mom and stepdad's house, but it's a big piece of property. And now I'm dope sick because we're stuck here. My daughter's mother's calling me off the rails because it's Halloween and I was supposed to have my daughter back to Philly.
So you have your daughter with you
Yes.
at the Klan Lodge rally?
Yes, so I have my daughter. It's Halloween. I'm getting my phone blown up, and I'm fucking dope sick with the Klan. And I'm like, I got to get the fuck off this mountain. So now I'm outside shoveling snow as it's falling, and my dealer's calling me. He's like, yeah, I got it if you can get here. So I'm like, yeah, I got to get the fuck out of here. So I'm throwing up in the snow while I'm shoveling it.
Because you're so sick.
Yeah, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Like, this is, I don't know what fucking part of the Matrix I fell into, but I should not be dope sick with the Klan.
Well, maybe somebody in the Klan was holding, which would be good. That's crazy. So how many times were you arrested in that period?
Not a lot, because my arrest came, when did I got booked for like petty shoplifting shit when it would just be like, all right, like my whatever scam I was running didn't work out, so I would go boosting, and I was horrible at it. Like, I was not good at fucking shoplifting. For all the shit that I was good at getting high, that was not it. And I would just get jammed up and get a little bit of probation. I'd sit in jail for like 2 weeks until I got in front of the judge, and then I'd get out. But eventually, somewhere around 2009, I caught a real attempted carjacking, and
How did that come up?
So I had an ex-girlfriend come bail me out of jail. She picked me up, and then she took me to this abandoned house that was my buddy's grandmother's house, but she had passed away, where I had a bunch of stuff there. Like, I was like stashing my stuff in this abandoned house, and she drove me there, and she was supposed to take me somewhere else, and a fucking needle fell out of my stuff and landed in her car seat, like her kid's car seat in the back, and she flipped out. So we get into this shoving match, and then she runs me over with the car.
Runs you over how?
Like, hits me with the car trying to get away from me, and then panics, gets out to check on me, and then I get up, jump in the car, and try to take off, and then I hit her with the car. And the whole time, there's a fucking off-duty cop that just pulled up to his house, like 100 feet away, watching the whole thing happen. So
he busts you.
So they didn't at first. So I managed to run away, and then I got back into the house. Now, I'm not a big guy. I managed to hide inside the dryer.
Okay, that's amazing.
Right? I folded myself up inside the dryer, and then I nodded out because I had shot dope before that. It was like, all right, I got away. I got all my shit. I shoot dope in this abandoned in my buddy's
And you nod out in the dryer?
So I climbed in the dryer. I nodded out. It might have been an hour that went by. Honestly,
How big a dryer was it?
just a regular dryer.
Listen, you're not the biggest guy in the world, but
No.
that's
So also,
crazy.
you gotta remember this. I'm in a full-fledged heroin addiction. I wasn't eating.
You're tiny.
Yeah.
You're limber.
Yeah.
Somehow you get in there.
Yeah, I put myself in this dryer. And
Blanket? Anything else or just you? Any blankets?
No, just me. And it sucks because it is the fucking wintertime. I'll never forget, because 3 years in a row, I went to jail on Martin Luther King Day. It was, it was wild. I remember seeing my docket sheets, and it was just like, why do I keep getting arrested on the same fucking day every year?
It has something to do with the Klan. I'm not sure what, but there's some connection there.
So the cops find me in the dryer. They come back to the house, yank me out of the dryer, beat me up a little bit, take me to jail. They break my glasses. It was fucked up. They threw my shoes away. So I'm just like, I show up to jail. I didn't get that dope sick, but I was a little fucked up. Like for what, like I was doing like a bundle a day habit. I was just maintaining. So I was dope sick for a couple days. I kick in jail, and I sat in jail for 9 months. And towards the end of it, I fucking OD'd in jail.
What happened?
So I'm in the jail for a while and staying out of trouble. I smoke a little bit of weed there with some guys there. I do a lot of artwork. So I kind of just, like, I know my role in jail. I do a lot of artwork. I make friends. People leave me alone, and I make money.
You give people artwork. You sell artwork.
Sell artwork,
What
yeah.
kind of stuff are you doing? Just like drawings?
Drawings for kids, for their, other guys, like, hey, it's my daughter's birthday. Can you draw me a card? And, shit like that. Or draw something for my girlfriend or my wife at home. And a lot of lettering, a lot of like.
Mostly would they give you cash or would they give you
It's always,
trade?
like commissary. I'd get coffee, soups.
Right.
I would, toiletries, hygiene products.
And you're like, I have a real skill in here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that. And so when I was younger and I would get locked up, I started taping a sewing needle to the inside of my eyeglass frame because I sew things. So I would make drawstring bags. I would hem pants. I would put pockets in your jail pants because they don't come with them.
So you were like the jailhouse tailor.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, especially like in Philly because there's a lot of Muslims down there and they all like their pants up higher. So
You hemmed everybody's pants.
Yeah.
So in the Klan one day, hemming Muslims' pants the next. Amazing.
Yeah. So.
And who has drugs in jail?
Everybody. But when I'm in jail, I always stayed away from like, the harder stuff. But it was like there's some pot that gets in, cigarettes that get in. So, for whatever reason in jail, I know better than to pick up a fucking habit because it's like, I don't know when I'm going to get more and it's ridiculously expensive. But
How much more expensive is a bag in jail than out?
10 times.
So like a $10 bag is $100.
Yeah. So like back in the day too, I'm just cigarettes. Like if you wanted a $6 pack of Newport, it was like $50.
Right. It seems like the time to quit smoking and
Yeah.
not do heroin.
Yeah, but
Who can afford it? I guess the people who bring it in.
yeah.
Those are the people that can afford
Yeah,
it. And then
that-
crazy rich
And
people.
how they would do it is, they would sell you heroin, but they're not taking commissary. Your family's got to go meet their family and give them cash, and then I'll give you the drugs.
Right. So you're paying on the outside so
Yep.
that the other dude can get hooked up on the
or
inside.
your family's going to come put money on my books, and then I'm going to sell you like.
Seems like a horrible place to be strung out.
Oh yeah.
That's got to be, unless you're selling.
Yeah.
And if you're selling still, you're going to blow everything if you're using.
Yeah. So I wind up like befriending this guy that is getting dope in and not realizing like I have no tolerance. Like, that shit's shot. So I fucking snorted 2 bags of dope and fucking OD'd. I fell out. I was purple. And I was laying in my bunk and I just got, by the grace of God, this instance where like I'm blue. And I had a lawyer come in that day to have a visit with me, do an official visit to go over this case that was coming up. So they just happened to come to my cell.
Wow. And find you.
And find me, yeah.
So then what do? They Narcan you?
No, this was pre-Narcan. This was...
So what do? They beat the shit out of you and throw you in the shower?
They fire rescue me out of the building, take me to the hospital. They fucking...
Shoot you up with adrenaline or something?
I don't know what all they did, but I was at the hospital for like a day and a half. And then I remember when they took me back to the jail, I got lost in the shuffle. I should have went to the hole, but they put me back in Gen Pop. So then I'm like, all right, cool. I got away with it. I'm fucking good. So now I'm back there trying to, make deals, do drawings and stuff. And I forget, like some lieutenant came down and he pulled me out and he's like, hey, we need to know where you got the drugs from. And I was like, oh, it was the guy Joe, the one that got fucking released 2 days ago.
The dead guy.
Yeah.
Joe.
The guy, he left. He's gone. I gave you the information. So now you're going to the hole. So this is the first time in my life where I sat by myself for 3 weeks. Now I know it's not a long time.
It sounds like a long time to me.
To me, it doesn't, because I know guys that go to the hole for months. And
So I mean, I've only been to jail at a day at a time,
Okay.
and I did 3 days in jail, separated by years. So 3 weeks in the hole
Yeah.
sounds horrible to me.
3 weeks to sit with just me.
And so tell us about it.
You lose track of time.
Are you naked?
No, I had clothes.
In Oz, they put you in the hole naked.
Yeah, no, it's not quite as bad as
Did you watch Oz?
No, I've seen a couple episodes, but I was never really big into TV like that.
TV jail or TV at all?
TV at all.
Okay.
Like growing up, it was drawing, doing art, skateboarding. I need to be outside. TV just gets, unless I'm on house arrest or I remember when I got put on house arrest, I bought a little TV and a PlayStation 2. I was like, I didn't have this shit.
Like, all right, I'm doing this now.
Yeah, I got to sit in the house.
So
But
tell us about what it is like to be in the hole for 3 weeks at a time.
you just lose track of time. You don't know if it's day or night. You don't know if, what fucking meal you're eating. You try to talk to people through the vents, and it's just like, it's almost on par in my recollection of being dope sick, where it's like you can't stay awake, but you can't fall asleep. There's no like internal clock like regulation, like you just disoriented. And then like when they do let you out for you get a phone call or a shower, and you're like, fuck, which one do I want to do?
How often? Just once in the
Like
3
once
weeks?
a day.
Okay, every day.
Yeah, but you're just by yourself. And then back then they would shackle you to come out of your cell, even though you're on a block that's locked in, there's nobody else out. It was like every day they would just go through and let 1 or 2 cells out at a time, 1 or 2 guys out. It's like, all right, you're going to get on the phone, you're going to get in the shower. And it would just rotate like that.
How long of a phone call would you get?
Like 10 minutes.
So it doesn't make you, it makes you crazy? Do you set up like weird games you play, or you just kind of like block it out, meditate?
So I would take the toilet paper and I would just like makeshift little chess pieces and just like play chess with myself on the floor after I scribbled in like the board, and just try to keep yourself occupied. Take all the milk carton containers they would give you and rip them up and turn it into a deck of cards and play fucking solitaire.
Right.
Like,
This is the whole like why people shouldn't go to jail. It's fucking horrible.
yeah.
Especially solitary confinement in the hole like that by yourself. And so you come out, are you like, what do you remember the feeling of leaving the hole?
No, this is a long time ago. I don't really recall the day, but I do remember getting out of there and being like, where's all my stuff? Like where's the shit that I've accumulated over the last 9 months?
Everyone took it.
A bunch of my shit. Yeah, I got like my legal papers back and my pictures and shit like that. But like commissary, clothes, shit like that was just gone.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So how long did you have to do in there?
So I was still awaiting trial. Here's the the crazy aspect of it is I still had a $14,000 inheritance check from a different account that I had never cashed out. My bail for this whole case was $720. And I was trying to, I had this paperwork. I'm trying to get it notarized so I can get a check sent to the jail. And I'm just trapped. Like, I can't bail myself out. I'm trying to, convince anybody that'll answer the phone, look, I got $14,000. Put the $700 up for me, and I'll give you 3 times that when I get out. There's no loss here, but everybody's like, no, you're good. You just stay in jail for a little while.
So how long do you have to stay?
I sat for 9 months. So the girl never showed up for court, the ex-girlfriend. She never showed up. I eventually got the case labeled must be tried. So once you go down to court so many times and nobody shows up, they'll dismiss it. But it took 9 months for that to happen.
Right.
So then I get out and I'm like, all right, I don't live anywhere. I own nothing but this fucking, mesh bag full of clothes and pictures and court papers. So then that's when I went off to Reading to stay at my grandmother's and try to piece my life back together.
And what does that look like?
Well, it looks like I get there and then 2 weeks later I get my $14,000 and I take back off to Philly and I just go down there. That's where I stayed awake for basically the month of November, just shooting coke and just shooting speedballs.
And when did you fall in love with shooting speedballs? As soon as you had money for coke?
I don't. So right after I got out of jail. So they hyped this coke thing up in jail, and I was just young, dumb, and impressionable. Where it's just I'd spent my whole life where I was like, no, mom did coke, and that's what really fucked her up. So
Did they hype up shooting coke or
Yeah.
shooting speedballs?
shooting coke,
Yeah, everybody hypes that up.
yeah,
It was never a thing for me. My friend who I started the show with,
Mm.
who died of a fentanyl overdose, he always would identify as shooting coke was his drug of choice,
yeah.
and that he would love the, bell ringer.
Oh yeah,
kinda
your
situation.
ears turn red, and you feel the
Yeah.
helicopter landing down on you. Yeah, but they hyped it up, and I was just young, dumb, impressionable. I'm like, when I get out, yeah, I'm gonna shoot coke. Like, what a fucking that's insane.
So you shoot basically like $10,000 worth of coke or something crazy.
Yeah, so I get out and I got a room at the Parker Spruce, which isn't there anymore. It was like this little like shithole prostitute hotel in Center City, Philadelphia. Bought some clothes, and then just going back and forth to down the way to buy my coke and dope and go back to the hotel room and shoot up. And eventually they kicked me out because I managed to get the TV unmounted and out the window from like the 12th floor.
How did you wind up losing the escort job?
'Cause I lost the car.
How did you lose the car?
Just never did anything to it. No maintenance. Just let it fucking die.
So you stay in this hotel until you can't pay the bill.
Yeah.
And then what happens to you?
Back to Reading, back to grandmom's, back to my.
What did she have to say about everything?
So she had already, had all of her kids are just heroin and coke addicts. So this was just a normal thing for her to just
She was used to it.
Yeah, and she was my number one enabler at that time.
How?
Where I was like, Mom, I might need some money. I would give her some bullshit story that she knew was bullshit, and she would still give me the money.
Because she loved you.
Yeah,
Because she didn't know what else to do.
yeah.
And it was like, either give him the money or he's not going to be happy.
Or I'm gonna wind up breaking the law and getting arrested and all that.
She wanted to enable you, but she also wanted you to avoid
Yeah,
some horrible shit.
yeah.
So how long did you make it at your grandma's for?
Off and on for like 2 years, and then I got a car, and that's when I linked up with that girl that I was in the hotels with, and with her stepdad at the Klan, and that's when that all took off. I'd met her out in Reading.
Did you ever encounter the Klan again?
No, not that I know of. Yeah, they're not very vocal, but
I never
nothing-
heard there was such a strong Reading, Pennsylvania contingency.
Well, it's like out in the sticks of Reading, and
It's funny because we had a family friend who moved to kind of like out there but more in the rural Pennsylvania, like Western Pennsylvania kind of area. And the guy was like some crazy militia guy, and like he like had like Uzis and like a training facility like to kill Jews and stuff. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, they're out there.
Yeah. So like, so then what happens?
So then, while I'm at my grandmother's, my aunt shows up, and me and my Aunt Patty, we start smoking crack, shooting coke, running wild throughout Reading.
She knows you have money.
Yeah.
Is that why she comes?
No.
You guys been smoking crack before that?
No, but I don't remember. She might have been locked up. I don't recall exactly like why she popped back up. But then we just start running scams together and, hustling all over Reading. And I fucking hated Reading because it's the size of a dime. And once you rip somebody off on the north side, the south side heard about it, an hour later. So it's just so hard to like.
You couldn't get away with anything.
No, it was too small of a place. So I would always wind up like.
And it wasn't like you were building a community garden where a small place would be good.
Yeah. No, so I would always wind up back down in Philly, pulling whatever scam we could.
When did you start smoking crack?
With my aunt. Or no. The first time I smoked crack was in jail. That was so I had actually.
You traded like a greeting card for a rock?
No, it was so I wound up in jail.
A different time.
Yeah, I was in CFCF, and then a friend of mine's stepdad that I grew up with that used to like get us beer, and he would like, you could drink at our house, but you can't leave type of situation. We wind up in the same cell block together, so we're like, all right, well, I know you, you know me, I guess we're friends now. And he wound up doing this block worker job for the guys that are like coming into the jail, and somebody passed him off a bundle of crack. And he gave it to me to hold. I'm like, I don't do crack. I don't do coke, nothing at this point. And I'm telling him like Rich, like we got to fucking get rid of this. Like we can't sell it. We can't give it away. Nobody fucking wants it. Like, let's just smoke it. Like, cause I can't keep running around with it.
Like everyone's saying how good it is to smoke crack, and we have this crack.
Yeah, we have this, and like I don't want to keep carrying it, because what's going to happen is I'm going to be walking down the fucking, from block to block, or going to church, or going to my job, and somebody's going to pat me down and find it, and then I'm fucked. I'm like, let's just smoke this shit. So I take a pen tube. I got the metal bracket that holds the eraser on your pencil. I broke that off. I made a funnel out of it, jammed it in the pen tube. Then I took a bunch of bread ties, stripped the plastic off them, bunched them up, made a screen, put it in that, and then we borrowed a lighter from somebody, and then we're in the cell smoking crack.
And did you fall in love?
No.
We used to smoke weed at, remember the pens that were plastic, but the metal, where the thing you write with comes out is kind of metal.
Mm-hmm.
So the body's plastic, and then it's got a plastic thing on the back.
Yeah.
What we would do is we would take everything out and just reverse the metal thing. Mm-hmm. So it'd be a funnel going in.
That's kind of how I did with the...
Yeah. But with us, it was like a one-hitter, so you wouldn't have a screen, so you'd smoke the whole thing down, and then you'd suck it through. Yeah. And that was like my favorite way to smoke weed for years. But for crack, it seems very convenient too. Yeah. But you didn't love it.
I didn't even like it. I smoked it. I felt stuck. I didn't enjoy it.
I didn't like it either.
And then after I came out of the cell and everybody's just staring at us because now our cell just smells like a fucking crack house. Like they're all pissed off.
They're very jealous because they like crack.
I don't think.
Oh no, they're scared you're gonna get busted.
We're like, we're blowing up the scene right now. We're just smoking crack in the middle of the day in jail, and it's just like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like the guards are gonna come down and smell that, and they're gonna shake the whole block down.
So when your aunt shows up and says, "Do you want to smoke crack with me?" You're like, "Sure,
yeah,
I love crack.
Yeah, I'll try it. I'll do it." Like, and what I did was I wound up getting into shooting crack. So I didn't.
You have to break it down and all that?
Yeah, put vinegar on it or lime juice or lemon juice. But because crack was easier to get in Reading than coke, and then when you would get coke, you couldn't shoot it because it'd have so much cut and bullshit in it.
Right.
You'd have to fucking cook it down, and it was just like, I don't want to be a chemist. My dad was a chemist. I want to just
enjoy my cocaine rock in my veins.
I want to shoot the coke. I don't want to fucking reformulate it.
Right.
But yeah, smoking crack with my aunt, and then we had just ran it to the point where it's like I had to go to rehab. This is the first time I've ever went to rehab. Was 2011 into 2012, I think. I forget exactly, but I was there. And then when I came home, my mom had come up from Florida to look after my grandmother because I had left. And she was getting to that age where somebody had to be there. And then my mom came up with all the best intentions because she was down in Florida smoking crack and being a menace. And she's like, I'm going to go up there and get my shit together. And then we just start running together for the first time.
You and your mom?
Yeah.
What's that like?
Oh, it's crazy. We, because my mom is just like my dad, highly intelligent, one of those people too smart for their own good. And we start finding scams. Like we figured out that, selling food stamps is a bad idea, but we could buy them and double our money back and turn this into cash. And it was just like this whole orchestrated scheme with cash receipts and learning how to read them, and we start getting high with that. And then there was a store that used to have this double your money back guarantee policy. So if you bought perishable items and it wasn't up to par, you could return it, and you buy a $30 steak and you return it, they're giving you $60 back.
Why would they set up a policy?
I don't know,
that,
but
especially in the drug addict community.
We broke it. It wasn't technically because the store was all over. It was a big franchise store.
So it's like if you buy a steak that's not good, we'll give you your money back.
Yep.
They should say, subject to drug tests.
Yeah.
Something.
So not give you your money back. We'll double your money back.
How could that even be a thing?
Oh, it was the dumbest thing because as soon as we seen it, we just had dollar signs in our eyes. Like, oh, thank you.
This is our new job
Yes.
to buy and return steak.
So the girl that turned us on to it was doing boosting and all this other stuff. I'm like, hey, you're doing this wrong. Listen, we're going to hustle up the $30 and buy it with cash. Now we have a receipt. Now we're not going to get store credit. We're going to get our $60. And then we're going to, we would just drive all over southeastern
Would you
Pennsylvania.
just wait till the steak went bad and then return it?
No. We would put hair in it. My mom would put cigarette ashes in it. It was a long-running joke where she would go in and be like, I don't think it's supposed to look like that. Like someday we're gonna write a book and that's gonna be the fucking title. I don't think it's supposed to look like that.
Yeah, definitely.
And
that should go in the coloring book.
So we run this scam all over the place, and then
You and your mom were close at that point?
yeah.
Was it weird?
Yeah.
What's it like?
Yes
What's it
and no.
like
It
getting?
was,
Were
seemed
you?
very normal at the time.
Did you always want to be close with your mom, and now here's a chance to be
Sure,
close?
I probably, yeah. Yeah, where it was like, I get quality time with mom, and it might be ripping off drug dealers with fake money or scamming the grocery store, but, we're bonding. We're hanging out together.
Well, all of a sudden, like I'm important to her.
Yeah.
And we can spend, and all of a sudden I'm useful.
Yeah,
and we have a shared interest.
Yeah, there's times where she's, she did too much, and it's like, I got to carry her to the car and get her to the hospital and get her fucking looked at. And it was like, yeah, we were spending time together. And it was just like a sense of purpose.
Because I'm sure when she went to jail when you were a kid, there was like trauma.
Oh, for sure.
You were like abandoned by the drugs, by the crime from your mother. And now here it is like you have this ability to reunite with her through the drugs.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's like means something.
Yeah.
And so you and your mom are fucking getting high, shooting. She shot dope too.
Yeah.
So you're shooting dope together. You're smoking crack together. Shooting crack together. You're scamming supermarkets. What are some of the other scams you guys have?
We would get fake bills. We would get,
Where would you get fake bills from?
So, did you ever see the $20 bill that's actually a prayer when you open it up?
Yeah.
We would get a stack of them, put a couple ones inside of it. There was people that she had connections with that would give us fake money, fake bills, fake 20s, fake
How
10s.
could you? Who were you ripping off? You wouldn't go to Reading. Where would you go?
No, we would go to Reading. We would go to Kensington. We would, my mom's phone would blow up like, "Hey, you gave me fake money," and she'd be like, "Fuck you." Like,
And that was that.
Yeah.
And she would never see them again.
or she'd be like, "Yeah, you'll still fucking sell to me next time I come."
Right.
That was her attitude. Was like, when I come back with 3 more customers for you, you'll forget all about that bundle you just lost.
Right. That's interesting. She
Yeah.
really took advantage of everything.
Oh yeah. So we're getting high together, ripping and running. So I got picked up on the weirdest fucking warrant. We were pulling some scam at a Walmart outside of Reading.
What was that scam?
I don't remember. I just
Okay.
remember we were in the parking lot, and this cop that recognized me just came over, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Why do you look like you're dressed like you work here?" And I was like, "Damn, that's a good idea." Like, I just happened to have like khakis and a blue shirt on. And I was like, "Damn, like I never thought of that. Like I should get a vest." But I remember he was like, "I'm going to run your name." And I was like, "I don't give a fuck. I don't have any warrants. Like I'm good right now." And no, I had a fucking warrant in Philly for something. I forget. It was something stupid with my daughter's mother. And they took me down there, and I'm sat in jail for like a week. But in the time that I was in jail for a week in Philly, my mom got busted on the scam we were running in the grocery store.
The steak scam.
Yeah. Yeah, she got busted, her and my aunt, out in Bumblefuck, PA, out in this place called Lebanon County. And they both got booked. I got out of jail. I had to hustle my way back to Reading to my grandmother's. And, this one, my mom was just like, "I'm done." My aunt took off. She went down south. She's like, "I'm not going to fucking jail." So she never came back. And they never extradited her. And my mom went to jail. She did her time. She got clean, and she stayed clean.
She was like, "This is it."
Yeah.
And what about you?
I was not done yet. No. I tried for a little while, and then it was just like back and forth to Philly, and mom's doing all right, and then I'd do all right for a couple months, and then...
Did you see your mom get sober and
Yeah.
you were like, "This is interesting.
Yeah.
Like maybe I could get sober." And you saw your dad get sober.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a couple times, too, where it was like where my, like earlier in my life when my dad did get sober, and it was like, "All right, you guys got to do it, too." And we're like, "No, fuck you." Like,
You weren't ready.
yeah. But... yeah, me and my mom butted heads for a little bit because I'm trying to like get visitation with my daughter, and she's like, "You're fucking shooting heroin. You can't go get visitation."
How old was your daughter at that point?
I want to say 8, 9, somewhere between 8 and 10.
Okay.
And then during this run, that's when I had a girlfriend, a fiance, and then that all fell apart. And then I just bought a car because I was doing good for a little, like maybe a year. I think I got a year together. I got my credit up. I bought a car.
A year is a big deal, though.
Yeah.
Were you going to meetings?
I was going to meetings.
Where were you? NAA? What were you doing?
AA out in Reading.
Okay.
So I was,
And you liked it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I grew up in the program. I never disliked it. I used to have these ideas where it's like, I grew up around this. What are they going to tell me that I don't already know?
Sure.
Yeah. Because that was
But that's true. It's like they can tell us the same thing. It's just about what we do, right?
Yeah. So I'm ripping and running and getting high, and my mom's like giving me an inch here and there where it's like, hey, like, I'm not going to give you cash, but you can come get a shower. I'm not going to,
She wants to be your mother.
Yeah. So she would like give me some cigarettes or put some gas in my car. I'm living in my car at the time. I finally got a DUI because I was sleeping in my car down in Kensington. I took it to trial. I appealed it. I fought this thing because my whole argument was like, I wasn't operating the vehicle. I had the heat on because I was home. Like I was living in it.
It wasn't a vehicle. It was a domicile.
Correct. Yes. That was my argument. And they're like, it's a good argument, but no. They got me for the DUI.
How bad was Kensington then?
This was 2015, 2016.
It was the dawn of it.
It was getting bad. Yeah. This was right around when they started tearing down the abandoned houses. They were starting to clear out the train tracks. They were starting to fine Amtrak for having people up there. So like everybody's starting to crack down. But all they did was just dumped it out on the street.
Right.
Now we can't hide in the abandoned houses. People are just
everyone's just getting high on the street.
People are just shooting up between cars right now. No, you weren't doing it out in the open because you could still get fucked up. Like because dealers didn't want you getting high on the street because you're gonna draw attention from the cops. It's like, yeah.
You were getting high in your car though.
Yeah.
And they give you a fucking DUI for getting high in your car while it's stopped.
Yeah. Yeah. My whole argument was I was parked legally. Like, yeah, I was.
Give me possession, but don't give me DUI.
I didn't even get that.
You just got the DUI.
Yeah, I represented myself and I questioned the cops because they said they had all this like paraphernalia stuff in the report, but not in the charges. And I'm like, well, are you incompetent or are you lying? Do you normally leave evidence at the scene? Like, I'm like trying to lawyer for myself, but the judge was just like,
didn't go for it.
Because I had gotten my blood thrown out because I was like, you guys didn't have a warrant for it. And this is right around, they had passed the Supreme Court law. They can't take your blood or anything without a warrant. So I had gotten that thrown out, but the judge wasn't hearing it. I was just like, all right, lost my license for a year. And that's right around when I got locked up after that because I was running around boosting again with two other people that were basically my roommates in my Hyundai Elantra hatchback. We're just living.
They were living in the car.
Yeah, with me. Yeah, we're just.
How many people in the car?
3.
So how would you sleep that?
I
Two in the front and one in the back?
I would sleep in the front seat. Sometimes he was a bigger guy. He would sleep in the back seat, and his girlfriend would sleep in the front seat. And then I just had the trunk full of my shit and whatever we were boosting. It's a lot of cans of Red Bull. I think they did the math, and it was over 50,000 cans of Red Bull in like a 6-month period.
In the car?
No, well, that's how many we were stealing.
Okay, so you'd steal and sell the Red Bull.
We would steal them, sell them to the bodegas, get $1 a can, and then we would go down and get high.
So how many would you usually sell in a day?
Oh, 200-300.
So your life was basically stealing and selling Red Bulls.
Yeah.
That became everything.
That became the hustle.
And how was living with this couple in your car?
Oh, it was insane because this is like one of the comical series in my life where this is during Trump's first term. Well, not even his term. No, this was his first run.
Campaign, right?
Yeah, his campaign. So we're shooting speedballs in my car, listening to NPR, driving all over the place to find new places to steal fucking Red Bull from. And I would put the NPR on when I didn't want to deal with them anymore because they fucking hated it. And they would be like, look, just drop us off. Come pick us up tomorrow. We're going to go find some other fucking hustle or like we'll do something else.
How did you wind up with them in your car? You don't even know.
I don't remember.
Who are they? Was it Mike and what's her face?
No. It was weird because I did have a connection to the girl Donna. Yeah, but in the end, we were in a Wawa, walking out, and I bumped into a cop that was going off duty, and he was just like, "Nope, I got you." They surrounded my car out in the parking lot. They found cases of Red Bull in the trunk, and when they put me into the station, they're like, dude, you got warrants in every fucking county around here.
For Red Bull
Yep.
theft.
Yeah.
How? They got you on camera? Or
Oh yeah, they
something?
had me on camera. They had my license plate.
How would you steal the Red Bulls?
We would just go in and just load, like, we would tuck our pants into our shoes and just fill your pants, wear baggy pants.
And then just kind of walk out?
And then I realized, so like,
how do your pants not fall down?
well, you wear a belt, but what I figured out was, like, if you just pick up the cases of them, like the smaller cases that they had, like the way they had the stores, we were talking about this on the way here because they're starting to remodel all their stores.
Wawa.
Yeah, so you can't, there's not 2 entrances anymore. So they had an entrance in the front and then an entrance in the back. But if you go in and you just grab a couple cans and just walk right out the back door, nobody knows if you went through the checkout. Nobody knows if you got rung up.
Right.
They have no clue.
They don't realize that Red Bull is such a valuable commodity.
They did, because they started putting cameras in by where it is, alarms when you would open that door where the Red Bull cans were.
How much did they sell Red Bull for at the bodegas?
Oh, I have no idea. Probably the same price you would pay at the grocery store, maybe like a little bit more, but they
It's
would,
like $4 or something.
yeah, they would
so
buy
you
them off us for
buy them
$1.
for $1, sell them
Yeah.
for $4.
And we would go to these stores and they'd be like, well, how many cans do you have? And I'm like, we got 400. I'm like, oh, well, I can only afford 2.
So you go from spot to spot.
So, well, some of them we'd be like, well, it's 400. You're taking them all or nothing. Or we'll just go to another store. And then we're like, oh, and they would call buddies that owned other bodegas and they would show up, like, because we're not running around, right? Like, if you're going to take them, cool, take them. If not, we're leaving. Like, we're not going to sit here and count half our stock. Like, you're going to buy them all or nothing.
That's what I'd be like, you could take 10. Let's get down the road. Let's find
Yeah.
the next spot.
Yeah.
So Red Bull sales dominated this portion of your life.
Yeah, this was the end.
And then what?
And then I get booked. I go to jail. I'm like, I don't realize how much fentanyl I'm doing. So I'm just thinking I'm just going to have another
You're
deep-
shooting the fentanyl or
Yeah.
smoking it?
shooting it.
Everyone said that shooting it was no good.
Oh, got me fucked up.
I mean, I don't know why. Why do you think people like would shoot heroin but smoke fentanyl?
I have no idea. I've seen people smoke Oxycontin, and I was just like, this seems like such a waste.
Right, because you lose so much smoke.
I was like,
I
I
never
don't-
did fentanyl.
Yeah.
How was fentanyl compared with the heroin of old?
It's got shorter life, so heroin would get you high all day. Fentanyl would get you high for a couple hours.
In the beginning,
Mm.
was it really exciting to get fentanyl?
No, I didn't like it because it would just put you out. I wanted to be awake and high and like have a nod, not just be knocked out and then I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm on the verge of being sick. I got to go get more right now.
So there is no like twilight high
No.
on the fentanyl.
Not for me.
You get high for a minute, then you pass out, and then you wake up.
Yeah.
That was your experience.
Yeah, and that was a time too where they're starting to put like a tranquilizer in it too, and then like the dope was going from like brownish to purplish.
That was that trank fent.
Well, no, I don't think this was pre that.
Okay.
You know, later on is when they came out with the xylazine.
Yeah.
That's the shit that's really fucking people up now.
It's still there, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So you weren't doing any of that.
No,
You were just doing the fentanyl.
I was doing there was still heroin, and it was just 2016 is like really when like fentanyl was becoming prevalent. Like, cause then I'm waking up in my car.
That's when we had just started the show.
Yeah, I'm getting fucking medics Narcan in me like at a red light, and I have no idea what's going on. You know, because one of my worst habits getting high was shooting up while I'm driving. I would hit a red light, and I'm trying to hit myself in the neck in my rearview mirror before the light turns green. Like,
So would you tie yourself off for that?
no, I would just sit there and just like hold my breath.
At the red light?
yeah.
Why didn't you pull over?
Well, where's the fun in that?
So you're at the fucking red light, hitting yourself in the neck, and could you often do it before the light
yeah.
turned green?
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
Yeah, that was like, anybody can pull over and do it.
Well, I never hit my neck either. Okay. So you get busted. Do they find you parked on the side of the road shooting up fentanyl? Like, how do they find you?
No, when I never got busted for any of that. They would just Narcan me and let me go.
So when you get busted in the end,
So
what are they
when
busting you for?
When I got busted was for shoplifting the Red Bull at a Wawa. I bumped into the cop. They take me into the station. They pull up all like, hey, you got warrants in Philly, Delaware County, Montgomery County, Bucks County,
The Red Bull
Berks
Bandit?
County. Yeah, that's what it was. Like, where do you want to go first? It's like,
So you had to go fucking to
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I had to go do a tour of all the fucking county jails. So
How much time did you have to do?
In the end, I think I did 6 months, and then I did 2 years parole, and then 2 years probation.
When you start going around the county jails, are you just like, I need to get sober, I need to stop with
So
this?
I detox off the fentanyl in Montgomery County, and it is the worst detox of my life.
Why?
So I didn't realize how much fentanyl I was doing, and kicking fentanyl was the worst. Maybe like 12 hours into being there, my nose is running. I'm starting to throw up. I'm getting to the I'm getting to the toilet in time for a little while. I'm puking, I'm shitting. And then at one point I'm in my bunk and I don't have anything left in me. Like at that point I'm throwing up yellow stomach bile.
Yeah.
You know, it's the pit of this is the shit that's supposed to digest your food.
Yeah.
And it's coming up and it's burning and it's just the worst experience of my life, physically, emotionally, mentally, all of it. I was just done. I get into my bunk and I got to shit and I got to piss and I got to puke again. And I had no energy to get up. I was essentially dead.
Were you shitting and puking and throwing up in the bed at that point?
So that's when my whole body just shut down. I just shit, pissed, threw up all over myself.
Oh my God.
And I'm in a dorm room setting in the jail. So everybody is just like, within like a matter of 2 minutes, everybody's like, what the fuck is that smell?
Right.
And it was me.
And it's like, oh, it's that kid who's dying over there.
Yes. So they pick my bunk up and they slide me over the door, hit the CO call button, and they're like, he's got to go. Like, he's going to die in here. So they take me down. They give me they put me in a shower, strip me naked, put me in a shower, hose me down, give me a shot of Ativan, and they put me on a medical unit. And then they're just observing me there. I'm trying to like put water down,
You can't hold anything down.
I couldn't get it down.
You couldn't drink it.
Yeah.
You could have been dead from just that.
Yeah.
Did they put you in an IV at that point?
No.
So you're just fucking...
I'm in this constant state of like, I can't fall asleep. I can't stay awake. my eyes are open, then they're closed.
It's horrible withdrawal.
Yeah. I'm fucking cold sweat, shaking, shivering. You know, I'm still shitting myself a little bit, and then they drag me back into the shower.
And they're not going to give you methadone or Suboxone or anything. They're just going to give you a little Ativan, which is nice.
They only gave me once.
It's nice they gave you anything in
They
jail.
gave me one shot of Ativan.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then it was just like, I would get a couple sips of water down. I would get a bite of food down from that tray. And then, you know, after I was able to actually like eat a meal and drink some water, they're like, all right, like, we're going to send you back out to Gen Pop.
And are you like, fuck this?
No, I'm just like, I'm still completely unaware what's going on. I have no sleep schedule. My hand-eye coordination is fucked up. I'm like, I don't care where I'm at. I just need to be in a bed. Like, I don't care if I'm in medical. I don't care if I'm in Gen Pop. Like, it doesn't matter to me at this point. I just need somewhere to fucking lay down. And so they sent me out there. Now, when I go to Gen Pop, I'm still fucked up looking. You can see me. They can smell me. They're like, so this guy comes up to me that I had, recognized, and he tries to give me a free bag. And I just...
Try to help you.
He tried to get me in his pocket.
Okay.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, first one's free.
Right.
You know, and I just remember looking at it and just thinking about everything that I just went through, and I was just like, I'm never doing that again. That's it. I'm done. And then in that course, I managed to get on the phone with my mom.
Isn't that crazy, though, that moment? Like, that moment is very valuable.
Yeah, this is the first time in my life I turned a drug down.
Well, and you had done drugs basically constantly for... How old were you at that point?
This was 2016, so 31.
So you had used basically from 11 to 31 continuously.
20 years.
And then that last run was nonstop, fucking extreme since your father's death, basically. And this guy has a fucking bag of fentanyl and you're still sick and you're like, no.
Yeah.
It's a moment. It's a spiritual moment. It's a break.
Yeah.
So
I had finally found the bottom.
Yeah. And what does your mother say?
So I finally get on the phone with my mom, and she's still clean, sober. And she's like, all right, well, you sound like you mean it, because I wasn't one to bullshit my mom. There was never like, no, I'm going to get clean. No, it was just like, I'm going to fucking ride until the wheels fall off.
You knew how fucked up she was, though.
Yeah.
So you knew she knew what you were talking about.
Yeah. So when I'm talking to her, I'm like, look, I'm really done. If you want to come visit me, if you want to help me out with some toiletries, put some money on my books. And she's just like, yeah, I will. I'll take your word at this right now. If you burn me, you're burning a bridge, right? So
your mom sounds very tough to me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's a 4'11" fucking brick shithouse. But she starts helping me out. When I'm going fucking jail to jail now. They're just extraditing me. I'm going down for preliminary hearings that turn into new arraignments for new charges. And I'm just like, there's nothing I can do about any of this other than go in front of the judge and then go back to my cell, sign whatever the fuck they want me to sign. And eventually, I do all my rounds. I get everybody squared away, and they're like, all right, we'll parole you to home, but you got to go to rehab. So when I get out, I try to get in the rehab, and they're like, well, you got like 3 months clean. Like, we're not taking you. Can't get in the detox. So then I'm starting to get in my head, like, maybe I should do another one. But I couldn't pull that trigger. I was just like, no.
Explain that.
Which?
Like that whole thing. Do another what? Like what?
Just do a bag so I can get in the rehab.
So they let you out of jail. You're still sick.
No, I'm not sick at this point. This is like 3 months.
So why do you want to go to rehab?
Because it's court ordered as part of my
you have to go.
It's bail stipulations.
But they won't let you in if you don't.
Nobody's taking me.
So what do you do in that situation?
So in that situation, I'm good with my mom. I'm staying at her place in the attic, and she's trying to help me get in the rehab. She knows I'm not bullshitting. We're calling places all over.
That's so stupid. Like, how can they possibly expect you to go to rehab after jail if you don't have it? And the only way to go to rehab is if you have drugs in your system.
And then I would go to this one rehab, and they're like, well, you can sit and wait, and it's kind of first come, first serve, but we're always going to take a detox patient before you. So I went there like 3 or 4 times, and then eventually I'm like, fuck this. I'm just going to go to meetings and get a paper signed. So I just made my own paper up, got it signed for all the meetings I was going to. It's like when I go back in front of the judge, he's either going to accept it or he's not. And they did. I was like, look,
You said I tried to go to rehab, but I was too clean to go.
Yeah, I explained the whole situation to him, and he's like, all right, checks out. My mom's there with me. I got family. It's like, yeah, he's not.
Where'd you go to meetings?
All over Reading.
Are you like falling into the system of the 12-step?
Yeah, I'm reconnecting with people from when like I had my year there, and like getting more plugged in, going. I'm living in my mom's house, going to meetings. I got a job. At some point, I moved out of my mom's and I went to go stay with some friends. Just, they were also in the program. Yeah, I had this little bullshit job at a telemarketing place. And it's just like one of these moments where like, fuck, like I might actually live. I don't know what to do. Like I never planned on getting this far.
Right.
You
reach out to your kid at all at that point?
Yes. So I did start setting up for custody hearings and visitation and stuff. But then when I went down there, it was the first time she had just like turned her back. She was like not hearing it. Everybody was tired of hearing like, oh, I got 3 months.
Right.
And I didn't give up, but I realized the harder I push, the further she's going to run. So I was like, fuck it. Let me get like 2 years and then I'll reapproach. Right. Cause like I'm no good to anybody else until I'm good for myself. And I have nothing established right now.
And at some point it's like, I just have to do the next right thing and hope it falls into place.
That's the thing that really like I held on to was I don't have a relationship with my daughter today, but eventually she will come back around. Same as I did with my mom. And when she shows up, who do I want to be? Who do I want her to find? Just some junkie strung out, fucked up still, or dad? And that's like the thing that I held on to very tight for years because it took 6 years for her actually like, hey, like I want to have a conversation with you.
And when did she come back around?
She was about 16 when I started having some phone conversations. But then once she turned 18, we really started to reconnect because then she wasn't quite like she was scared that if she did have a relationship with me, it would piss her mother off. Her mother still hates me to this day. I don't really blame her, but so after she turned 18, like we talk all the time.
Why does she hate you, the mother?
Just because of everything I put her through with, the fucking running the prostitutes around, the drugs, the stealing, like fucking up friendships of hers and cheating on her and just, all the insanity. I get it. I don't blame her.
And now you have a good relationship with your daughter.
Yeah.
And when did you start, you still doing graffiti in the street?
Yeah. Yeah, in the beginning. So in the beginning when I'm staying at my friend's Misty's house and I'm trying to think of like, I have some artistic skills and abilities. I have no like real job skills. So I'm like, fuck am I going to make money? I can't work at this telemarketing place making $8 an hour and survive in the real world. So I was thinking about doing one of the sober clothing lines, and I'm starting to do designs, and I'm posting for my friends to see. Excuse me. And some girl I went to middle school with was like, "Hey, why don't you make a coloring book? Like adult coloring books are like a big thing today." I was like, "All right, I'll think of something." So I started coming up with the big coloring book for alcoholics, and it was shitty. It was it was like I'm still getting my motor skills back. I'm within my first year of being clean and sober. I start drawing this book. Meanwhile, I'm still going to court. I still have to deal with my sentencing. So I like rush this book together and publish it, and I sell a couple copies, save some money up, and now I got to go to jail sober for the first time.
What
So-
was that? What was that for?
What?
The last bit in jail?
For all the Red
You
Bulls.
still had more to do.
Yeah, I still had to go back to jail. Like I was in trial. I was, making whatever plea deals I could. The girl that was running around with us, gave up all the tapes. Told her, she got off. And then me and the guy, me and her boyfriend at the time, we did all the time. So I had to go back to jail for 6 more months with my plea deal. I went clean and sober. I took money with me. I had extra clothes. I was like, this is, a new experience. I've never done this.
And how was it different in jail?
I wasn't fucked up going in. I had, people answered the phone for me. Like, it was like
You had people, you had connections.
Yeah,
Was it scary in jail or no?
No, I did the bulk of my time in Delaware County at George W. Hill. And it was a very weird experience because now I'm in there and I'm just like, I'm coming up with this coloring book here, Kill Yourself with Crayons, where I'm just like, I need something to do. I need an outlet. And, then I start just doing random weird shit to laugh, where I paid a guy to take a shit in the shower so that the whole block would freak out. And it was just a joke to me. It's like, little like Andy Kaufman-esque shit where it's just like,
Absurdist stuff.
Yeah, I'm the only one in on the joke. Nobody else knows about it. And I'm just sitting back laughing. That was how I did my last bid. And then
When was that done?
like all my time, all my probation and parole, like 2019, I think.
All right.
2019, 2020 maybe, where I like finished my everything out. And in that time, so when I'm like sharing pictures of like the projects I'm working on, guy Ray from down in Philly seen like I was not being a piece of shit. And he's one of the guys that got me into graffiti when I was younger. And he's like, hey, you want a job washing cars? And maybe if you'd stick with it, I can teach you how to paint them. So I'm like, yeah, but I'm terrified to move back to Philly. So I talked to my, my support group, my mom, sponsor, and they're like, yeah, it's,
Something to do.
yeah, it's, go down there and do the right thing. And I did.
And you liked it?
I loved it. Yeah, I went down there. It was like, holy shit, like I can be an employee. I can show up every day on time.
And paint cars.
Yeah. Well, I'm washing them. And then, I washed them for like 7 months before they even let me into the paint department to like learn how to prep them. And yeah, it was just, in the meantime, I'm coming up with all these art projects where I make enamel pins and I'm making another coloring book and I'm getting mural jobs around the city for like barber shops and, body shops where I'm painting their logos and their signs up. And then I start getting in with some people out in Allentown where they invite me out for this art festival to do my own shit where I can just paint whatever I want. And that was great. And I'm putting murals on hotels and just like really putting a life together. And it was just like, holy shit.
And when did Relapse versus Recovery happen? And you're going to do a Dopey mural, hopefully.
Yes.
That would be cool.
So 2 years ago on New Year's Eve, we were playing card games. So before that, when I was making one of my coloring books, I was like, I want to make a recovery-based game. And I had done a little bit of research on it. And the only one that existed was some really shitty game that had bad reviews. And it was something they made for, you're going to spill it. It opens, the face opens like a book. Yep. So,
Keep going.
I'd thought about making this game and I was trying to like figure out mechanics and like artwork and doing all this. And it just seemed like such an overwhelming idea that I just shelved it for years. Or it was just always in the back of my mind. And then 2 years ago on New Year's Eve, we're playing some games, and then it dawned on me, like, oh, it could just be a card game. I don't need all the little pieces and all the components and all this shit. Like, I could make this a card game. And then I just really dove into that. I start ordering all these blank decks from Amazon, and I'm hand drawing with a Sharpie on and figuring out like all the funny inside jokes and recovery and 12-step program, jargon and all the stuff. And I'm just building this up. Every day after work, I'd be painting cards for 10, 12 hours, come home, sit for another 2-3 hours making cards up, and then figuring out the mechanics of the game. How does this work? How does this make sense? And then somewhere along that process, I was just getting burnt out working, painting cars. Like, it's a very stressful job. Like, guys that do it for their whole lives, God bless them. But
a lot of pressure if you fuck up. It has to be perfect.
It's expensive, too.
Expensive.
Yeah.
And all this stuff you do, making books, doing murals, making this game, it's all about fucking having a purpose.
Yeah.
It's all about like having fun in your life as a sober person and being creative.
Yeah, and there's this double aspect of it where it's like I got to spend 3 months of my life when I'm making the one coloring book is 3 months I wasn't shooting dope. It's 3 months I had a positive interaction with my art, and and then if possible somebody else can get it and give them 2 hours to color the page in. It's like it might help somebody else.
Totally. And we're going to bring in your buddy Mike. And how do we play the game?
All right, I can go over the rules with you.
Is it very hard to play?
No.
Is it very easy to play?
Very super simple. Yes, I made it as easy as I could.
Here, call Mike.
All right.
Mike. Okay.
Yes.
So who are the characters in the game now?
Characters in the game are...
I'm talking to the mic, though.
The characters in the game are the addict, the alcoholic, the drug dealer, and the gambler.
And the sex worker for the expansion pack.
Yes, the sex worker is in the expansion pack. So you pick your character deck, and then you have a little score tracker card.
Okay.
Like this. And then there's a little token that you'll put on to keep track of your points.
Okay.
Right? Then everybody gets their own deck, and you'll draw 5 cards from your deck.
Okay. Who are you going to be, Mike?
Where am I going? I'm going to be the...
Be the gambler?
Yeah, I'll let you be the addict.
I can be the addict.
Yeah. And I'm going to be the gambler.
Yep.
Dave, what? Tell me, I forgot your name already. Claire, what are you going to be? You got to get on the mic with Dave. Why don't you be the, what do we got? Why don't you be the alcoholic?
All right.
What are you going to be, the dealer?
I'm going to be the sex worker. I got it.
Very good. Very good. So what do we do?
So the person with the most clean time starts. So you draw 5.
How much time do you have?
I'm coming up on 10 years.
Yeah. How much you got?
18 months.
Yeah, I have the most. This is the first time I've ever had the most clean time. This is great. So how many did I take?
You draw 5 cards out of your deck.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right.
Uh-huh.
So you will put the score tracker on your card, but we're just going to do a couple rounds so you can see how it works.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So you'll play 1 card.
Okay.
So pick a card out of your hand, and you'll set it next to your score tracker.
Where's my score tracker?
It should be in your deck there.
Thank you. Okay, so I play a card next to the score. I'm going to play the wake up bag healing card.
Well, so you didn't lose any points, so that wouldn't help you.
Okay, so what am I doing?
So you can play an attack card or a pass or play card. Do you have any of those?
I will play an attack card.
All right. So who would you want to attack?
I'm going to attack Mike.
All right. So Mike,
you have a staph infection.
Oh no! Read it. Read the whole thing.
Staph infection. 1 point damage to all players, including yourself.
So we would all go down 1 point on that
for the staph infection.
Right?
Sorry, Mike. No,
right.
Don't take it personal.
So then it would be my turn. We'll come around,
and
I would play. Let me find a pass or play card.
This is the ultimate game to play in rehab or detox.
Oh yes,
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Or your recovery house. Where are all the?
Or your not so sober house, maybe.
So I'll play a pass.
I think it's good for like people that are a part of like an addict's family. Like
Why?
Because it like helps you. Because like there's things that I would have never heard of that like he could kind of explain to me.
You feel more connected to the addict in your
like,
life.
It makes
And
you,
educates you.
It educates you, and
yeah.
like it's humorous too, but it also helps you understand them a little bit better through humor.
I like that.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So what are you playing?
So I'm gonna play the pass or play card.
Okay.
Right. And
Yes.
this is pass or play. So I'm gonna make you pick one. So you'll draw from this pile right there.
Thank you.
Read it out.
13th stepping the newcomer -2.
All right. So you'll put that card here in the discard pile, and you would
Yes.
go down 2 points.
All right. So I'm down to how do you keep track of the
So there's a
points?
score tracker.
Yeah.
You cut these tokens out.
Oh, okay. So you
All right.
put it on there.
Yep.
All right. Cool. So I'm down. I'm at.
There might be some in there.
Do you start at 12 and now I'm at
Yep.
10?
Yep.
All right. So I'm at 10 and it's Mike's
No,
turn. It's Claire's turn.
Claire's turn.
Put the mic on her.
So I'm gonna do attack.
Mm-hmm.
1 point damage. I'll give it to Michael.
Nice.
Thanks, Claire.
You're
Well, you
welcome.
put that in your discard.
You got to read it.
What is it?
Just 1 point damage.
To opponent of choice. So I picked Michael.
All right.
So you'll put that there.
And then I get a card, right?
No. Now you'll always pick up. So you always have 5 cards in your hand from your deck.
Oh, okay.
Right. It's like Uno.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I only
Now
got
it'll be
4.
Michael's turn.
Go, Michael. Here, hold on.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to I'm going to attack. I think I'll attack.
Who you attacking?
Dave, I'm going to attack you.
Okay. Okay.
Me, Dave, or him, Dave?
Dopey Dave or regular Dave?
Since Dopey Dave said me, I'm going to attack Dopey Dave.
Very good.
Yep.
What does it say?
And it just says attack.
1 point.
1 point damage. So you're down to 9 points.
Claire, how did you wind up with Mike with 18 months sober?
Well, he got sober with me, so
So he was with you with no months sober, and then he started to get his shit together.
he did.
Yes. And what it was, I had 5 years previously, and I'd relapsed on methamphetamine and struggled with that for about 5-6 years. And towards the end is when I met Claire, and I had become suicidal almost every day. I was unable to do any more art, and her unconditional love really is what helped me love myself, along with the program, obviously, but her unconditional love.
So love set you free from meth.
Love that set me free from that. That's correct. Along
Anything else?
God in the program.
Oh, there you go. That's
We
helpful.
laugh a lot.
Laughter is good.
Laughter heals all.
We enjoy each other. And you have Dave. You're Dave.
Yeah, I have great friends. I have great friends in recovery. All my friends that I speak to on a daily basis are all in recovery.
And you paint.
And I paint, correct.
And you're here.
And I'm here, and I appreciate it. So thank you.
What are we doing now?
And that'll be your turn. Draw one of your cards. And
Okay, hold
the
on.
real fun is the pass and play or the pass or play cards because that's what.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm gonna pass and play.
Pass and play. That means you have to draw one and somebody else has to draw one. So who do
Okay,
you
so-
want?
You drawing, Dave.
All right. So what'd you get?
Fight the EMT trying to save you. -4.
I got celebrate my first day clean and sober, so I get a plus.
Congrats.
Thank you.
I'm at -5 now. Not good. So whose turn is
It'll
it?
be my turn. So I'm going to do another pass and play, and I will make Mike pick one, and then I'll pick one too. What'd you get?
Driver's license restored.
Nice.
Yes. Big come up.
I asked everyone at the meeting for a cigarette, -2 points.
Excellent. Excellent. I was just at a rehab. I swear to God, when I'm in rehab, I know that's the only place I can remember people's names, and I remember what everybody smokes. You know, outside of rehab, I don't remember anybody's name, but somehow in rehab, I'm fucking tuned in. It's funny, like how that is. Anyway, what are we at?
Claire's turn.
Claire's your turn.
Claire, go.
Put the mic on her.
So I do this.
Yeah.
Nope. You
I just
play
pick.
one of your cards.
Alright.
Yep. If you don't like those,
I don't have those. Oh, I can switch.
this is just a demo. We don't have to
Yeah.
do it exactly.
Yeah, I'm really bad at card games. All right, Dave, what's going on here? Where are my good ones?
Here's a pass or play. So, do you want to take one, or do you want to make someone else take one?
I want to take one.
All right, you can pick from there. What'd you get?
Haven't slept in days. -3.
Oh,
Been there.
that's no fun.
I've been there a couple times.
Yeah. All right.
All right, so it's my turn?
Yep.
Michael.
All right, so I'm going to pass and play, and I'm going to have you pass
Me?
and play. Yeah.
All right, so I'll take one.
Yeah.
Oh, I nodded out and got robbed.
Oh, that
Minus
sucks.
3 points.
-3.
Yeah.
That sucks. All right, I'm going to pass and play, and this is the last round we're gonna play. Oh shit, hold on. All right, we're passing and playing. And I just give it to somebody.
Who do you? So is it pass and play or pass or play?
It's pass and play.
All right. So you'll draw one, and you'll make one of us draw one.
All right, Claire, draw one. Choose a relapse or recovery card for yourself and another player.
Yep. So Claire takes one, and then
First
you.
DUI. I'm not doing good.
Look, I just got 11 points because I hit my rock bottom. It's fantastic.
Yep. You're all the way back up to the top.
And Michael, you get one too. It was just the two of
Yep.
us. Okay, that's good. All right, I get it. I think this is fun. How do people get this game?
Right now, it's available on thegamecrafter.com. It's just type in their search bar Relapse vs. Recovery. We're also on TikTok, Relapse vs. Recovery, Facebook, Relapse vs. Recovery, and Instagram is Relapse vs. Recovery Game. 'Cause
Nice.
Somebody beat us to it.
Fuck
We're
them.
working on switching it.
That's all right.
And right now, we're also working on getting this on Amazon, which is a nightmare, but we're figuring it out.
Yeah, fucking drug content. People really have a hard time with it. It's like Meta's in the process of systematically shutting us down
Yeah.
so, as we speak. But this has been really fun. Dave, how did you feel about telling your story on the show?
That was great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you guys for coming. This is a lot of fun. And me and Dave are gonna make some shit. Dave wants to make some dopey stuff. Mike's gonna do some painting. We're gonna do some stuff.
Be pretty incredible, and we look
Yeah.
forward to doing that for you for sure.
Together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be nice.
And you can come back and record sometime too, Michael.
That'd be nice. I'd love to share my story.
Oh, that'd be sweet. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Right on.